Hi kids, today we will be starting with our new chapter, chapter 10, Respiration in Organisms. And today we will be seeing the first video on this chapter which deals with the topic Cellular Respiration. So let's get started. Now, have you heard about the term called as respiration? What is respiration? It's a process of breathing in and breathing out. That is what is mainly involved in respiration. That is what you know, isn't it? The process of breathing continues until our life ends. And actually, why we are breathing? Why we are breathing in air and giving out air? Why this process is happening throughout our life? It is because only during this process of respiration, our body produces energy. The process of release of energy from food occurs during the process of respiration. Okay, now how is this process happening in our body? Actually, when we are eating our food, the food is entering through our digestive system. From the mouth, the food will be going to your stomach. It will be digested there. Finally, from there it will be going to your intestine. The digestion will be completed in your intestine. The nutrients of food which are there in your intestine will be taken by the blood. The blood will take this nutrient and it will give it to each and every cells in your body. The cells will be receiving lot of nutrients like this. Now the cell don't know what to do with all these nutrients. Now what will happen in a cell with all these nutrients? These nutrients which the cell receive will be utilized for the production of energy within a cell. And that process is what is called as respiration. Now the process of respiration, when it is occurring inside a cell, you call it as cellular respiration. So the respiration which is occurring inside a cell, that is the release of energy from the nutrients or from the food we eat, and it is happening inside our cell. You call it as cellular respiration. Okay. Now this process of respiration can occur, number one, either in the presence of oxygen or number two, in the absence of oxygen. So this process can occur either in the presence or in the absence of oxygen. When it occurs in the presence of oxygen, you call it as aerobic respiration. Okay, whereas when this process occurs in the absence of oxygen, you call it as anaerobic respiration. So hope this is clear. So understood? So the food which we eat is getting converted into energy. The process you call it as respiration. When it is occurring inside a cell, you call it as cellular respiration. When cellular respiration occurs in the presence of oxygen, you call it as aerobic respiration. And when cellular respiration occurs in the absence of oxygen, you call it as anaerobic respiration. Hope this introduction is clear for you. Okay. Next, we are going to see in detail about aerobic and anaerobic respiration. So as we studied earlier in the other slide, what do you mean by the first one, aerobic respiration? It occurs definitely in the presence of oxygen. O2 means oxygen. Okay. Similarly, anaerobic respiration, it occurs in the absence of oxygen. O2 again, oxygen. Okay. So now first one, aerobic respiration. The food, the major nutrient inside our cell from which energy is produced is definitely glucose. That means when you are eating some food, all the components in food will be digested within your intestine and it will be converted into various nutrients. The major nutrients which are produced in our intestine are carbohydrate, protein, fat, etc. Out of which carbohydrate is the major source of energy for our body. Okay, it's an immediate source of energy. Okay, and the main type of carbohydrate from which the energy is produced is glucose. That is why in all these equations, the first one, see, the reactant or something which is going to take part in a chemical reaction, it is the glucose. Is it clear why glucose comes here? Okay, because glucose is the immediate source of energy for our body. It's the easiest method by which the energy can be released in our body. Okay, now in aerobic respiration, this glucose will be converted into CO2, what is CO2? It is carbon dioxide. H2O, it is water and energy. So, in total, what can you tell? This equation, when you are telling it in a sentence format, how can you explain it? The process of formation of or the process of conversion of glucose into carbon dioxide, water and energy in the presence of oxygen is what is called as aerobic respiration. Is that clear? Yes. Now moving on to anaerobic respiration. As we told earlier, it is a process which occurs in the absence of oxygen. Normally this anaerobic respiration occurs in smaller organisms like yeast, bacteria and all. But in some cases it can occur in human beings also, in our specialized cells, especially in our muscle cells. Okay, so first we will see about the anaerobic respiration which occurs in simple organisms. An example taken here is yeast. Okay, similarly here also the reactant or something which is going to take part in this chemical reaction, that is glucose here. Now from this glucose or the glucose is getting converted into carbon dioxide, alcohol and energy. Now observe these two equations. The first and second equation, please observe it. In the first equation, the products were carbon dioxide, water and energy, whereas in this equation, in anaerobic respiration, the products are carbon dioxide, alcohol and energy. That means instead of water here, in case of anaerobic respiration, alcohol is produced. Is that clear? That is the difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration. This is the main difference. Hope it is clear. So that's all about the anaerobic respiration happening in simple organisms like yeast. Now, when anaerobic respiration occur in certain cells of human body like muscle cells, see, right now we are going to see about the muscle cell. When it occurs in a muscle cell, here the glucose is going to get converted into a new product. You call it as lactic acid. Is that clear? Lactic acid. So, along with lactic acid, energy is also released. Okay, so the anaerobic respiration which occur in yeast and in muscle cell is different how in the products produced. In case of yeast, the product produces carbon dioxide and alcohol, whereas in case of muscle cell, it is lactic acid. So in total, what can you tell? The main byproducts which are produced after anaerobic respiration are carbon dioxide, alcohol, lactic acid and energy. Okay, and according to the type of organism, alcohol and lactic acid production, okay, it may change. The byproducts may undergo a small change according to the type of cell where in which this anaerobic respiration is occurring. So, hope this aerobic and anaerobic respiration is okay for you. Okay, shall we move on to the next slide? Now, muscle cramps. Have you heard about this muscle cramps? Now, what is this muscle cramp? When does this occur in your body? When you are doing heavy physical exercises, when you are continuously doing some strenuous activities like you are cycling, you are walking for a long distance, you are running, when your body is undergoing like such physical exercises, what happens is that your muscle cells will become tired and finally you will be feeling some pain in your muscle cell. This is what is called as muscle cramps. Okay, so muscle cramps, it occurs after heavy exercises. And what is the reason behind this muscle cramp? It is simply because of the anaerobic respiration which is occurring in our muscle cells. As we have studied in the previous slide, remember what is the anaerobic respiration equation in muscle cell? Just try to recollect it. What was it? Glucose was converted into lactic acid and energy. Now that lactic acid is a main problem for this muscle cramp. This lactic acid will get accumulated in your muscle cells and this accumulation of lactic acid will cause pain in your muscle. This is what is called as muscle cramps. Now look into the slide here. It is because of anaerobic respiration. So muscle cramp is a result of anaerobic respiration in which cells of your body? In your muscle cells. So anaerobic respiration in muscle cells will cause muscle cramps. Okay, here the partial breakdown of glucose into lactic acid is occurring. And what will happen to this lactic acid? It will get accumulated in your muscles. And as a result, you will be getting muscle cramps. Okay, now is there any relief from this muscle cramp or this muscle cramp will be there till the end of your life? No, this muscle cramp is a very, It's a very, by doing simple techniques you can get relief from a muscle cramp. Okay, see, either by taking a hot water bath or by a gentle massage you can get relief from this muscle cramp. Now what happens during these processes, how your body is getting relief from this muscle cramp? Just observe this flow chart. See, by doing a small massage or by taking a hot water bath, what is actually happening in your body? Your circulation is increasing, your blood circulation is increasing. Okay, when your blood circulation is increasing, lot of blood will be flowing through all the blood vessels in your body. You know that the blood will be carrying oxygen in your body, the oxygen from your lungs is being taken into the blood, and the blood will be circulating this oxygen throughout your body, and each and every cell will be getting oxygen through the blood only. So when circulation is increased, more blood flow will be there. As a result, more oxygen will be reaching the cells. Okay, see, it increases the oxygen supply to our muscle cells. And what will the muscle cell do with all this oxygen? When the muscle cell is getting oxygen, it can complete its aerobic respiration process, because the muscle cell right now has undergone anaerobic respiration, due to which lactic acid accumulated in a muscle cell. Now when this muscle cell get oxygen, what will the muscle cell do? It will complete the process of lactic acid decomposition. The lactic acid which has been accumulated will be converted into, see, carbon dioxide and water. So this lactic acid will get split into carbon dioxide and water. So that lactic acid problem is solved in your muscle cell. Okay, and slowly your body will get relief from this muscle cramp. So hope this muscle cramp portion is clear for you. Okay. Now what all things we studied about aerobic and anaerobic respiration? See, these are the differences. This is a tabular format of this aerobic and anaerobic respiration. We will study it. Now the first one is aerobic, here the next one is anaerobic. Aerobic respiration take place in the presence of oxygen, whereas anaerobic respiration occurs in the absence of oxygen. This is the first difference between these two. Clear? Second one, the energy is released in higher amount in aerobic respiration. More energy is produced, whereas in anaerobic respiration less amount of energy only is produced. Okay. Number 3, coming to the byproducts. Byproducts means those things which are produced after a chemical reaction. Okay, the things which are produced after a chemical reaction in aerobic respiration is carbon dioxide and water. These are the byproducts. Whereas in anaerobic respiration, it can be either alcohol or lactic acid. Clear? Along with carbon dioxide. These are the byproducts of anaerobic respiration. Now, aerobic respiration normally occurs in animals and plants. In almost all the animals and plants, aerobic respiration can occur. Whereas anaerobic respiration can occur in few unicellular organisms like yeast, bacteria and all. Along with that, certain cells, certain special cells in human body like muscle cell can also undergo anaerobic respiration. So hope this difference between aerobic and anaerobic respiration is clear for you. Okay children, so with this we are coming to an end of today's video session. So what all things did we study right now? We will just take a summary, the whole summary of this class. Listen carefully. So number 1, you studied what is respiration. What is respiration? The process of conversion of food into energy. And when it is occurring inside a cell, you call it as cellular respiration. How many types of cellular respiration are there? 2. If it occurs in the presence of oxygen, you call it as aerobic respiration. When it occurs in the absence of oxygen, you call it as anaerobic respiration. Clear? Then anaerobic respiration, when it is occurring in our muscle cell, it will cause muscle cramps. And this muscle cramp, how can we get relief from muscle cramp? By splitting the lactic acid which has accumulated in our muscle cells. Okay, by this process we can get relief from muscle cramp. And how can we split this lactic acid inside our muscle cell? By giving a gentle massage or by a hot water bath. So hope this session was clear for you. Study properly. See you soon with the next video. Thank you children.